everyone. Today we have AJ from Hack Cancer Solutions, and this was actually founded, I believe you're in Texas in the US, am I right?
Yes,
Can
it's
you tell
founded
us a
in.
little bit about yourself and why you decided to run the hackathon?
Yeah, sure. So first off, Angela said, I'm Ajay. I'm the founder of Hack Cancer Solutions. It's founded here in Texas, in the United States. We founded uh, with 11 high school students. We have 3 people who work with us. Um, so our mission was our initial mission was to help make awareness about cancer. A lot of people been through difficult times, especially now with COVID and the pandemic. So cancer is it's not something that we see on the news, but I think over the course of this pandemic, we saw a lot of people diagnosed with different types of illnesses. So we wanted to make a awareness with it, and here we are.
And why did you decide to develop and hack around cancer? Was there a core reason behind that?
Definitely there was a core reason behind the mission and what we really wanted to do. Um, I know personally, some of my friends, lost their loved ones with cancer. I personally have dealt with it, and you know, I think the school that all of my friends and me go weren't really helping us, find a solution to motivate people. What is cancer? And they just simply did charity. So we thought, okay, what if why can't we can make like something like coding kind of situation where we get a lot of programmers around the world, around here too, and then educate people and motivate people, what's cancer, build new apps. And amazingly, I felt like this hackathon had that idea, and I felt like we were ready to do it.
Fantastic. So how many participants did you end up having, and from what parts of the world were they from?
Yeah, sure. We had around 34 to 36 participants. It was most of them were around the world. Some of them were in the U.S. So we had some parts of U.S. I'll mention. We had someone from Nevada, Utah, California, Florida, Texas, and then internationally, it was a big thing. We had people from UK, India, Pakistan, Australia. Um, so most of our contestants were international, so we gave them an ease of, I guess, flexibility on how to submit things. And then for our U.S. contestant, we were more strict because they live here, they have more access to things. So, but overall, we saw about 16 submissions. Most of them were team submissions, and I felt like all individual and team participants did a great job, and we were excited to see what the teams and they had.
And so what was the core problem or challenge statement you gave to all the participants? And what kind of tracks did you have?
So we had 3 different tracks. We had general, community, and health. General is something more about your creativity, what you're passionate about. How, of course, we try to limit on things that are affecting now to like COVID and cancer. So for the health track, I was surprised that no one did COVID and actually took their idea to cancer. So I was surprised to see a lot of health um, kind of oriented um, project. I think in general, a lot of people who had the idea to do general were kind of switched off because they were either focusing on the general aspect or they were either focusing on other things. So, our judges kind of like weighed in and we're like, okay, yeah, this person can be held, this person can be social. A very, very few, not as anticipated, but social was basically more about social justice, Black Lives Matter, something, stigmatized, um, something that's really affecting people nowadays that are, they're not able to voice their opinion.
What do you hope to achieve after this hackathon? What do you want to see with all the participants, the winners, and the projects?
I think genuinely from my point and as well as many people who did join is that they were pleased to have us do this type of event. They were pleased to see us doing workshop section. They were pleased to join. I think what we heard from them as well as the team is that they do want this to continue, and they do want us to do another hackathon, have more people, have more sponsors, fundraising. So I think the initial thing is that like most startup, you have a small idea and you become big. So I think the next big step is really trying to get a large amount of people, large amount of potential coders and hackers, and go from there.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for the summary, AJ. So now we're going to hop over and we're going to watch the winning presentation.
In 2020, about 1.8 million people will be diagnosed with cancer in the United States. Getting diagnosed with cancer is a life-changing event. And according to the National Cancer Institute, 1 in 3 people with cancer experience mental or emotional distress. This is due to the overwhelming emotions and information you have to process. That's why I've created Lenio. Lenio is an app and website that's meant to fill in the gaps of their knowledge in cancer. Our mission is to provide accurate resources on cancer and cancer treatment in one place to soothe the minds of those who are diagnosed, have loved ones that are diagnosed, or are simply curious. It never hurts to be informed. So I built Lenio on Code Studio, and this is our app so far. So you can either sign in if you already have an account or create an account. So creating an account is pretty simple. It just asks for your name, your email, if you have cancer, if a person close to you has cancer, or if you're just curious, and also a password. And then you can create an account. So this is our welcome page where we have both our buttons, which is what the features we have on the app for now, as well as our daily inspirational quote, because people looking at the app, we mainly want to have cancer patients or people diagnosed with cancer. And it's really tough to have to live with knowing that there's something wrong in your body that you're needing to go to the hospital and hopefully treat. So we wanted to give daily inspirational quotes to be able to encourage them as they go on with their journey and trials. So the main feature we offer on our website is Ask a Doctor. So Ask a Doctor is we will have doctors on the website that will be able to answer questions from people that have one. So you would put a question below for a professional to answer, or click the request a chat to talk to a doctor one-on-one if you have more than one question or diagnosed or just confused. So if you wanted to type a question, you'd put it in there, and then you can also request a chat. And lastly is our Learn More. We have most of our resources on our website as it's easier to read on computers, but you can also access them from your phone just by clicking this, and it'll take you to the link. And also for Lenio, we have our website, which has a lot of our information since we didn't want to put it all in the app, and it's easier to read on a website rather than on your tiny phone screen. So here's the homepage, and we have our little graphic that says inform yourself about cancer, which is kind of like our tagline. So we already talked about our mission, which is to provide resources for those that are going through cancer. Why the name Lenio? It's because Lenio means ease, relieve, soothe, calm, which is what we want to accomplish by giving people the resources that they need to know if they're going through treatment and sometimes it's scary, so we wanted to make sure that they knew what they were getting into. And then we also linked some other resources because they're going to have more details, but we have all of it in one place. So we have the Mayo Clinic, National Cancer Institute, and the American Cancer Society. So here we have our major cancer type facts. So we have 14 different major type of cancers. So if I was looking at pancreatic cancer, since I know that it's a pretty common cancer, I can search it up in the search bar and it will show up, and it'll give me an overview and also a statistic of people who get it. Then we have chemotherapy, which is just a lot of information on what chemotherapy will look like and what to do if you're going through it, and some advice. Same with radiation. We have a lot of information. If you want to look through both of those, feel free, but it's mainly just information about what you'll be going through, who you'll meet, what questions you should ask, all sorts of stuff like that for both the radiation therapy and chemotherapy page. And then there's advice for if you yourself have been diagnosed, and if you have someone close to you that's been diagnosed, you might want to read this just to know what they're going through and what they should do. And we also have a lot of information on this also. And then lastly, we have our Contact Us page so that people can tell us if we have any problems on our website, if they are confused, if they want to contact a doctor, or if they want to just leave a review of our website. And that's about it for Project Lania.
Hey Savannah, congratulations on winning Hack Cancer. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do during the week?
So I'm Savannah and I live in southern Utah. Right now I'm in in-person school. I'm a sophomore and I have a lot of different classes. I have AP classes and a few computer science as well. During the week, I spend a lot of my time studying as well as working on my own personal projects.
Lovely. So with this hackathon, I believe this is your third or fourth one. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into hackathons and why you decided to participate in this one?
Yeah, so there's like this whole community of students that are doing these personal projects and digital internships and stuff like that. So actually during COVID, like when that first hit and we were online for school, I started doing online internships through Interns for Good, and I started seeing a lot of different opportunities that I would never have seen if I didn't join these different communities, and some of those were hackathons. And the first one I did, I was super nervous but also super excited, and when I went, there were just so many like-minded students like me, and the mentors were amazing, the workshops were amazing, and it was just all around fun. So that's what kind of led me to hackathons.
Lovely. And why did you want to participate in Hack Cancer?
So I wanted to participate in this one because cancer is such a huge thing that affects pretty much almost everyone. There's not a whole lot of people that don't either have cancer themselves or know someone, or it affects their lives directly, and it's such a big problem. So this one really stuck out to me when I was looking through DevPost and other listings of hackathons, for sure.
Yeah, awesome. I can't believe you did all of that. There was a lot of content. You had an app, you had a website, you did that all yourself. How did you even think about the idea and then design it and implement it and code it? How did it all work out for you?
So my process of making ideas is that I'll usually I'll have a theme, and the theme was pretty easy for this hackathon since it was already the main part, which is cancer. So I'll make a bunch of ideas, and I actually had about 5 different ideas, but the one that I had was kind of basic in general, but at the same time, I thought that it would have the most impact on the most people, because my project is meant to inform people whether they have cancer or don't have cancer, if they know someone or are just simply curious. And then as far as why I decided the different aspects or services of my hackathon product, I would just say that it kind of just comes naturally, just thinking about what the user would want. If I was in the position where I would use this, what would I need? What would I see the need for, if that makes sense? So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what kind of like tools did you use when you were creating the solution?
So I use Figma and different, like I've used Adobe XD, stuff like that for the layout of the website. And then I will usually use either, I like have so many different like HTML code programs that I like run them through. I'll usually, since I'm used to using Code High School, because that's where I learned my HTML, I'll type it out on there and then I'll move it to Repel it, or which is a free coding website that'll give you a free domain to run it on that's through theirs, which is super nice. And it'll run pretty smoothly through there.
Yeah, great. Did you come across any challenges going through the hackathon?
So this was one of my first hackathon projects that I wasn't just designing for. This is also one of the first that I kind of did on my own. So it was a little nerve-wracking, and I had a lot to finish. So I was kind of worried about time, but I was able to finish it. I would say just using the skills that I had, since this is actually one of my first years, having a HTML class as far as web development. So it was definitely a challenge just having to do it for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. And were there any like highlights or like any, yes, like that worked out well, I finally made that happen? Any of those moments?
I would say when I have so many bugs in codes, it's not even funny. Like as far as like having to position it well, there's so many times where I'm like, that is not supposed to happen. And you have to like go back, check other resources, ask people that you know. So when things started getting into place where I wanted them, that was kind of like, yes, almost there. So yeah.
Yeah. How were the workshops at the hackathon? Were they really helpful? What kind of things did you learn?
Yeah, so these workshops, they had a few that were like hacking and web development, but they also had a few that were, there was one about breast cancer, there was one about human trafficking, there were just different ones that were also just awareness about things, which was different. And I had really only had like workshops and panels. I never really had like an awareness presentation. So I thought that was really cool, especially with the theme being about kind of like information about cancer. And I always love learning new things. Pretty much anything, as long as it's new, can be interesting to me. So it was really cool seeing that because I'd never seen that before in a hackathon.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, if you were to give anyone that was looking to participate in a hackathon, do you have any top tips for them?
I would say not being afraid to ask for help on projects. Usually the people in hackathons, whether it be mentors or other hackers or organizers, they're all super nice and always willing to help. Like they really just want you to do your best. So don't be afraid to like reach out to others during the hackathon.
Cool. That's such a great message. Thank you so much, Savannah. Thanks for joining us and telling us your experience.